Good evening and welcome to the regular school board meeting of January 8th, 2019. Roll call, please.
Treasurer Anderson.
Here.
Director Johnson.
Here.
Director Shaw.
Here.
Chair Goggins.
Here.
And Clerk Boguszewski is here. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Are there any agenda adjustments this evening?
There are none.
It looks like we have no announcements or comments or community input this evening. So we're getting a fast start on 2019.
19 it is.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
I thought I did. Maybe not. So next we get to organization of the school board. And 5A is reaffirmation of the school board governance policies. I don't know if you all had a chance to look at all the policies that are outlined. We have a number of different policies regarding governance. There's actually one policy I would like to propose that we not approve this today and rather look at it because it differs considerably from what our practices are, and that's the school board annual work plan. So if we could have some discussion about that and hold on its approval. Would anybody like to make a motion regarding the governance policies?
I will move, Madam Chair, that we approve the policies listed with the exception of Policy 203 Annual Work Plan, which we will pull for individual discussion.
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion about the policies outside of 203? All in favor of approving the motion as presented indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed, nay? Okay. 203, the policy is around that we will annually, in January, begin an annual planning cycle that looks at a kind of an annual plan for progress toward the achievement of the district goals, not the board goals specifically, with engagement of community and staff groups and activities. And this was true when this was put in place in 2011, but we've tended to follow a somewhat different procedure. We have certainly an annual plan as a district and how to get there, but it's not this January time-based, etc. So I would propose that we have a group to look at what we'd like to do with this policy and not approve it at this point and rather define who's interested in working on that. I would be happy to work on that. Is there anybody else appropriate? I'd like to.
Sure, I'll do it.
And Todd? And then we could work hopefully with someone in administration as to what is appropriate, as to whether we even have it. Great. So we'll put a table that one until further notice. Great. The next agenda item we have is election of school board chair. We must have an open vote, and no secret ballots are allowed according to state statute. And I need to ask for nominations, and I need to repeat that 3 different times. Anybody can nominate anybody else on the board. You can self-nominate. You can as well. So, are there any nominations?
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate you, Kitty Goggins, to continue as chair of the board.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Okay. So if since there are no other nominations, we'll move to approval. The nominations for Kitty Goggins serving as chair. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Okay. So I will continue to serve in this capacity for another year as the will of the board. Next, we have election of the school board clerk. Are there nominations for school board clerk?
I nominate Mike Boguszewski.
Okay, we have Mike Boguszewski nominated. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Okay, all in favor of having Mike Boguszewski serve as school board clerk for 2019, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Okay. That moves us to election of the school board treasurer. Are there any nominations for school board treasurer?
Madam Chair, I'll nominate Todd Anderson to continue as treasurer for next year.
So we have nomination of Todd Anderson for treasurer. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Okay, so for the election of school board treasurer being Todd Anderson for 2019, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Okay. So we have completed the work around organization of the school board. That moves us to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second? All in favor of the consent agenda indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Okay.
Madam Chair, we do have a retirement this evening. I'd like to move for the approval and with commendation of the retirement of Cindy Christensen, who's an occupational therapist at Parkview Center School, and who started her career in Roseville in 2011. So we appreciate Ms. Christensen and her service to our kids and all of us.
Thank you. So with great appreciation, we move her retirement. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay? And gifts this evening?
Yes, I'm going to read the first page of the gifts. We have 2.5 pages of gifts, our generous community. So to begin with, these are for elementary schools, Central Park, Edgerton, Harambee, and Parkview, from Mighty Cause Charitable Foundation, a cash gift for student enrichment. From the E.D. Williams PTA to the E.D. Williams Elementary School, a cash gift for playground equipment and unpaid meal accounts. From the Life Touch National School Studios to Edgerton Elementary School, a cash gift for student enrichment. From the Edgerton PTA to the Edgerton Elementary School, a cash gift for students in need, a winter clothes grant. From Ronnie Larson to Edgerton Elementary School, a gift of school supplies, paint, notebooks, and pencil for student use. From Joe's Sporting Goods to Harambee Elementary School, a gift of hats and gloves and socks and gift cards for families in need. From Wells Fargo Community, Support Your Cause, to Parkview Center School, a cash gift for the principal's discretion.
And we now will move on to some gifts for Roseville Area High School, several gifts for the high school. We'll start with the Little Canada Recreation Association, a monetary gift for the high school, for the diving boards for the swim team. We'd like to thank Julie and Richard Fraser for a monetary gift for the boys golf team. We'd like to thank JB's Wood Floor Maintenance, a monetary gift for the boys wrestling team, Twin Cities in Motion organization, monetary gift for student enrichment at the Roseville Area High School. We'd like to thank the Falcon Heights Lauderdale Lions Club, a monetary gift for boys wrestling at the high school. We'd like to thank the Roseville Area High School Girls Hockey Booster Club, a monetary gift for additional coaches at the high school. We'd like to thank the U.S. Bank Foundation, a monetary gift for the boys cross country team at the high school. And we'd like to thank Jerome Liefert for personal care products for the Roseville Area High School food shelf. We now have a few gifts for the Roseville Area Middle School. We'd like to thank it's Robert and Kathleen Hirsch, a monetary gift for the music department for the middle school. We'd like to thank Premier Bank, a monetary gift for students in need, for Roseville area schools, I should say. The Rosetown Legion 542, a monetary gift for the Meals on Wheels program for Roseville area schools. We'd like to thank Roseville Lutheran Church and Jill Lund for multiple bags of winter coats and winter items for students in need for Roseville area high schools. And then Centennial United Methodist Church for a monetary gift, and it'll be used for donation for bus services and transportation for the adult basic education program for Roseville area schools. We certainly do appreciate all the valuable contributions and gifts from our community.
Thank you. We have no reports or non-action items this evening, so we'll move to action items. Our first is Policy 209, Board Operating Procedures and Meeting Process Revised. This is a second reading.
So yes, tonight the administration is recommending approval of policy revisions to Policy 209, Board Operating Procedures and Meeting Process. There were a few revisions proposed at the last school board meeting, and the version before you tonight has no further changes.
Do I have a motion to approve the policy?
So,
I move that we approve this policy.
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay, so we have approved the policy. The second action item we have this evening is school board goals. Do we have a motion to approve the school board goals?
Madam Chair, I will move that we approve the goals as written.
I will second.
Second, okay. These goals were developed at our last public meeting, based on a board discussion and a draft based on the notes from that session. Is there any discussion around these? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Okay. Now, we did at the last meeting talking about that we want to continue a high level of community engagement and explore new outreach opportunities. And I believe at that time that Mike and Curtis indicated some interest in exploring new opportunities. Was that correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Would it make sense to share whatever you learn in your normal updates, or do we need to schedule something for that, or just ask that you learn new ideas or to bring them forward? Would that be appropriate?
Right now, as we learn things,
Yeah.
if there's something in particular that I think needs, that we think needs a little more time, we can always request that be added to the schedule.
Great. Thank you. Is there anything else on here that you feel needs further discussion about where we're headed? Okay. The board reports. Does anybody have any board reports this evening?
I would just like to let the board know that last night, Equity Alliance Minnesota and AEMID did interview 5 candidates for the executive director position, and we are going to invite 2 back on Thursday evening who seem to rise above the rest. I should note, and I think you'd be interested to hear that all the 5 candidates that were surfaced were exceptionally qualified and capable people. All exhibit a passion for equity work in one way or another. I don't want to say quite what the positions are. I'm not sure what the communication has been yet for the ones we're not inviting back, but I think all of us felt that although there were differences, the differences were quite small. I think that even on the 2 that we're bringing back, either one could handle the job well. So hopefully in the next meeting or 2 I'll be able to report into the kids and offers being accepted. So it was actually quite exciting. Dr. Scully was there also. We can share his thoughts as part of the large advisory group of superintendents, students, and staff. That's all I got. Other than that, it was a great holiday period. So everyone had the same.
Others?
I just have a brief report. Last Friday was AMSD's legislative preview, and very well attended, as it always is. I just wanted to just kind of provide a shout out to some of the local representatives that were there. Senator Chuck Uyghur, who was on the panel, Representative Jamie Becker-Finn, and new Representative Kelly Mulder was there, amongst many others. But I thought it was a really great legislative preview. We went over the legislative. I think you might have found that was on in your packets or on top of your packets. AMSD's legislative platform for the year has been approved, and we discussed that briefly during the legislative panel. And it was really interesting. We also heard we were introduced to the new Education Commissioner, Mary Catherine Ricker. She kind of gave a brief introduction of her background. And then she went into how she's going to be very solution-driven and focusing on collaborative work, mentioning how parents, teachers, communities will be working together with her. And she mentioned she has a lot to learn from us, but she gave a very good accounting of herself and what she wants to do. So she's going to be a wonderful commissioner of education for us. That was basically it, but really good legislative review.
Good.
I'm going to let you talk about it.
I have a couple of different things. We're all this week, actually. I went to the EDW PTA meeting Monday night. I'm the liaison for that school. And it was wonderful to see the 20 parents there discussing. What I appreciated too was 25% of it was fathers, so it wasn't all mothers, and I love seeing that change in our community. It was fascinating. Their topic really was around grants that they, for discretionary funding of the PTA to help support initiatives in the school. And it was fun to see how much were around books and authors and magazines and things that were very kind of supplemental to the needs of the students. And one area that had a fair amount of talking about was kind of the seating and the mixture of seating that they have at the school, how they try to have a mixture of some yoga balls, some kind of regular chairs, and these hokey stools, which I guess have the same kind of allow motion, so to help focus the student's mind, and how valuable that was. And that was one of the requests from 2 different groups of teachers. But how they were trying to adjust and have the right kind of seating for each student was an appreciated thing that's, it changes over the years. And kind of how hokey stools is the smart board that was around 10 years ago, where you don't even see those in our classroom anymore. But as new learning comes about, or new technology, etc. Went to the 916 Career and Technical Education session this morning. Curtis Johnson and Jenny Lynn and our long-term volunteer around the Career and Technical area, Jenny Williams, was there, which was wonderful to have that kind of representation of our group. We currently have 94 students in the program. Out of the 14 districts involved, we're about 3rd highest. And it was really interesting to see. It's a pretty broad mix, and if you're interested, I have a sheet here. But we have a really strong representation on law enforcement, which was interesting and wonderful to see. And cosmetology was the 2nd highest use of our students. They have a really neat program around career trees, where they identify for students kind of all the different job classifications they could have with a year of career technical education through our program, which is, one time during the day they go over there, but in essence 2 classes during the year. And then they have another level of the tree that has all the programs they could do with some additional education, but kind of intermediate, and then a highest level, and how this all feeds together. And as we got to hear from a number of students who were there, it was often the students were using this to give them the practical experience to then go on to a career in the similar field, but at a higher level. And I was thinking, what a beautiful blend that is of the career, of the hands-on with the academics. So it's much more practical, it's much more meaningful when you get to the higher academic learning, when you really understand some of the functional pieces. And it was really exciting how they kind of developed that gradation in the different career paths. They also have a really nice marketing brochure, and part of that marketing brochure is they have an opportunity for satellite programs from the different districts to kind of market something that they would have available to other students who would have an interest in that, or career and technical opportunities that are not offered by 916 specifically. And so that might be an opportunity for us as well. So that was really exciting to see. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is I just went this afternoon to the Senior Advisory Council, which I'm supposed to be the liaison from our district. And I did get to one earlier this fall, but this is the second one I've gotten to. And what I wanted to share with you is one of the impressions I walked away with that I thought was really exciting was hearing about kind of the diversity of programming that we're offering now, things that we didn't used to offer, but our current community really benefits from. For example, the men's shed. And I thought, what a wonderful thing to do. It's an opportunity for men, although women can come too, but it's kind of targeted to men, with kind of shoulder-to-shoulder learning experiences and getting exposed to new things. Like they take tours for different things that are out there. They do service projects and a variety of things. But what a great opportunity, because I think often women tend to find those things more, and have something that's focused to really attract men was exciting. And another one that thought you'd find interesting was with the Bhutanese community of elders, that we have once a week bus service where we bring in 8 of the elders, where we take them to a site where they can get some English learning and citizenship classes. And then once a month, the bus also goes to visit a food shop. And it was really meeting a need in our community that's evolved, and just wanted to complement our community education and our senior program for really listening to our community and developing new services as their need. So those were my 3. Okay, so this is the end of our school board meeting, and we will take a 5-minute break, and then we'll open for our work study session. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.